Greetings, welcome to Little Discovery Corner. Today I felt like doing another healing heart spread from my Higher Self Oracle deck. And the card number 1 is supposed to answer the question, what needs to be healed? And the card that came out first was overcoming obstacles. Now, the energy I get off this is kind of feels heavy, like daunted, discouraged, overwhelmed. You may be facing challenges right now that have you feeling really discouraged and maybe really low. And I think what this card wants you to think about is how to take lessons learned, right? Go with the flow. Okay, I'll get back to that one. So, I'll read a little bit from the book. Today's tears water tomorrow's gardens. You are in the midst of experiencing an obstacle. Life is full of challenging situations, and at times one obstacle follows another without any time in between. Naturally, obstacles can feel discouraging and can sometimes derail your plans and completely set you back. It is understandable to become frustrated and disappointed as you struggle to overcome your current problem. You may be experiencing a lack of resources, a lack of inspiration or knowledge, a failure, a lack of abundance or support, or even stagnancy. Often, obstacles are seen as permanent stop signs or indications that you lack the necessary skill to achieve or succeed and thus should discontinue forging ahead. This card brings your attention to the repetitive negative self-talk you may be engaging in as you are met with unexpected hurdles and disappointment. Your higher self requests that you modify your inner conversations and shift your mental attitude. It is time to address the toxic inner narrative since it shapes your reality and affects how you will surmount the current obstacle in place. Invest in a positive mantra to help you harness your inner power and courage and transform your self-talk. This card asks you to pause and shift your perception from one of fear to one of love. Your higher self knows that obstacles are opportunities and blessings in disguise. Take time to connect with your higher self to ascertain what you can learn from your situation, rather than focusing solely on setbacks or the negative aspects of the obstacle. These obstacles are on your path to help you assess your current plans, revisit your original intention, to make sure you continue to remain aligned with your goals, and identify potential areas for improvement. These setbacks may even reroute you into a new direction that will lead you to even more success than you could have imagined. Know that your higher self is actively helping you overcome obstacles on your path and has your best interest at heart. Okay, so yeah, this kind of lines up with what I've been picking up lately in recent readings, which is that you may have run into some hard times in a nutshell. And you feel kind of stuck there, stuck in your bad fortune. And so you're wondering what to do next. And so this card number 2 is supposed to address steps needed to heal. Now there's a couple on this card, and the card is love. And there may indeed be a connection on your mind, possibly even a romantic connection, but it could be any connection. But what I'm getting is that what's needed to heal is your connection with yourself, especially in light of this card and in light of recent readings, which is the issue of negative self-talk, the issue of feeling unlovable, feeling unworthy. And so what you need to do is address the relationship you have with yourself, learn how to fill your own cup emotionally. And that can start with something as simple as positive affirmations, telling yourself things that you like about yourself, and telling yourself that your hardships are valid, what you're feeling from your experiences is valid. You're allowed to feel anger, which is next, which we're going to cover next, disappointment, frustration, feeling stuck. But know that it's something that's temporary, and you can't hold on to it in order to move forward. And if you're feeling frustrated and stuck with regard to a connection with someone else that is not going the way you were hoping it would, that could be a lesson you need to take. If you're feeling unworthy, that's where you start, like you learn to fill your own cup first before you can feed a healthy connection with others. And so, number 3 is what needs to be forgiven. In order to address this, and I pulled out anger, and I think what this means is that the idea of forgiveness is letting go of what's weighing you down, the heavy emotions that might be weighing you down and keeping you feeling stuck. And anger could be a big part of what you're experiencing right now. Maybe feeling betrayed, whether by the connection you were hoping for or a connection perhaps that you're trying to get out of that no longer serves your highest good. Maybe there are connections in your life that are making you angry. And whatever it is something you have to let go of eventually. Now you have to acknowledge that you're feeling angry and your anger is valid. And if it's because you've been wronged, you can acknowledge that, and what do you do about it? If someone has betrayed you, if someone's taking advantage of you, taking more than they're giving back to you emotionally, then you have to see that. You be aware of it, but what do you do about it? Fighting back, revenge, pushing back, yelling, just feeding the anger, feeding the fuels of anger, that'll actually keep you stuck. And to learn self-love, what you need to learn is how to draw boundaries. How to draw boundaries and be ready to enforce them. If someone is violating boundaries, such as taking more energy from you than they're willing to give back and feed into a healthy, happy connection, and you're realizing that and you're seeing that it's not healthy, that it's not making you happy, and it's making you angry, you have to be willing to set boundaries, and when those boundaries are crossed, you have to be willing to enforce them, and that means following through with what needs to be done, which is walking away usually. Or if it's someone you can't cut off from your life, say like a parent, a co-parent, if you need to separate them from them, if you cannot physically separate them from them, you just do your best to be mentally stoic. That's what they say about, dealing with a narcissist, that you can't separate yourself from physically. And you can look that up, dealing with narcissists. There's a lot of more qualified people to listen to about that. But yeah, it's all about channeling your anger into lessons learned and steps to be taken. And in order to show love for yourself, have love for yourself, show respect for yourself, that involves drawing boundaries and enforcing them. And once you're able to do that, you'll find that you're starting to feel a new sense of self once you actually find the courage to enforce boundaries. And that will put you in a better place for reconnecting or making new connections with more mature people with whom you can have a healthier, happier connection that your spirit is longing for. All right, so number 4, 2 of these cards came out together. Clear your energy and take the first step. So once you get out your anger, let out, if it's built up, find a non-violent, a non-harmful outlet for it first, to release the energy from your body first. And then assess what you need to take away from the situation, how to channel the anger into a productive course of action. Like once you get out, release the energy, and learn to let go of the heavy emotions, then you've cleared your energetic field. Allow it to rise. And that lines right up with feeling love for yourself, feeling inspired to go in a new direction, to hold your boundaries going into the future. And that's what it means to raise your vibration. And once you've learned to let go, learn to enforce boundaries, learning to respect and love yourself, that clears your energy and kind of opens your world up to take the first step. Let me see what the book says on that. Even the greatest was once a beginner. Don't be afraid to take the first step. Muhammad Ali. Throughout your life, there will be many creations you desire to bring forth. Your higher self is reaching out to ask you to take a courageous leap forward in order to create a desire you hold deeply in your heart. For most, the first step into the unknown is frightening, filled with uncertainty and unpredictable variables of the journey ahead. Many question if they have the proper resources, support, and assistance to truly manifest, and they end up defeating themselves before they even begin. If you are enmeshed in the elusive world of fear, then the first step will appear perilous. But if you trust in the knowledge of your higher self, this step will be a joyous one. This card reveals that it is time to break free from the chains of fear and be brave. Have the courage to venture into the unknown, since each step will move you toward your dreams and your destiny. If you find yourself collapsing into a state of worry and anxiety, look at your higher self in this card. She is taking a step with glee and enthusiasm, almost in an enjoyable dance-like fashion. She knows what this will bring for you and is excited to help you. Will you trust her? If you are attempting to begin a new business, considering moving to a new location, or if you're trying something outside of your comfort zone, this card encourages you to take that risk. After taking your first step, trust that your higher self will nudge you into the appropriate following steps. Rest assured, you are supported on your journey moving forward. All right, that kind of fits right in. Learning self-love, letting go of heavy emotions, releasing, setting boundaries. That may be something kind of unknown to you. That's outside of your comfort zone. You're used to just going along to get along, and you feel like that's what you have to stay stuck doing to just be comfortable for the rest of your life. But think about what it's doing to your sense of self. And when you live that way, especially if you're, say, dealing with narcissistic people or abusive people who are taking advantage of you and not give you enough emotional return, that does take a toll on your physical health too. So pay attention to how you feel physically as well, the longer you choose to not step out of your comfort zone and release your anger, draw your boundaries, and channel your anger into leaving a situation that no longer serves your highest good, which includes your mental, emotional, and physical health. Okay, I think I will add in angel cards, and these two just spilled right out as I open the box, which fits right in. 986, forthright, practice saying no, which ties right in with channeling anger and practicing self-love by setting boundaries. Practice saying no. Your angels want to alert you to your tendency to confuse yes with no. They're asking you to stop. People know that you have a hard time not doing what they ask you to do, and they have been taking advantage. It's time to say no confidently. 10 times a day, look in the mirror and practice a way of saying no. And you can look that up. Look up, say, videos, articles from professional therapists, for example, on how to draw boundaries with, say narcissistic relationships or other similar type personalities that you may be dealing with. And 411, important relationships. I shall put this one next to this guy. See the value in those you love. You are called to select one relationship close to you and nurture it in an attentive and loving way. Think about how to tell a loved one how much you care for them, appreciate them, and see them in your life. Make time for them today as you communicate how important they are to you. Okay. This could be self-love, telling yourself positive affirmations, fostering a stronger connection with yourself. And it could also be with regard to other connections that maybe have lost due to, say, focusing more on, say, toxic relationships that you're trapped in, or you've been kind of blinded by and used to getting along with most of your life, that may have caused you to lose connections with people who are energies and people who are important to you. All right, last thing, I pulled out this one by accident as I was fishing for the book. It says go with the flow, and that could be a final note for the day. Go with the flow, which includes, as you try to step forward into a new direction for yourself, go with the flow. Let the universe, let your higher self, your inner heart, your gut, lead you where you need to go. Listen to it and just kind of let it lead you to where you need to go, like a leaf floating down a river. Okay, I think this is getting pretty long, so I will leave it there. I will see you next time.